What if the influencer who could take your startup from unknown to selling out faster than a Taylor Swift tour is just one email away? I've seen software makers go from who to whoa, scaling from 0 to 6, 7, or even 8 figures, just by getting the right influencer to vouch for their product. The problem is, most software makers either go full on, let's email Mr. Beast and get ghosted, or completely fumble the pitch. So in this video, we're breaking down the top tier insights from industry pros on outreach strategies that actually work. Let's get into it.
The shortest route is throw a ton of money at them. If you don't have that, you can try to reach them. Maybe some will read your messages. Most definitely won't.
This is Verdi, the co-founder of Code Snippets. He grew from 0 to 6 figures in the first months after launching his business, an achievement that he owes in part to influential content creators who promote his product.
In the beginning, we offered a ridiculously good and bad deal. Very good for any content creator, very bad for our business on the short term. You get 70% of what we make on this sale, so we only get 30.
It was a deal so good that even my grandma considered becoming a tech influencer. By offering to pay influencers an insane commission for every sale they made, Verdi secured some of the biggest content creators in his niche to take his offer, reserving the deal for a limited number of people and restricting it to a limited period.
The actual number of people we did this for, I think about 15 or so.
15 influencers got 70% of the revenue they generated over 2.5 months, leaving Verdi with only 30% of that income. This might have been a big compromise on the initial profits, but it grew his business phenomenally, and it set the stage for a long-term relationship with those who became affiliates of his brand.
It's like a Kickstarter campaign or crowdfunding campaign.
And this is just one of the tactics Verdi implemented towards his launch. Another effective tactic for small businesses to attract their first big influencer is offering them a business partnership.
You can go and say, hey, you know what? You're going to get a piece of the business if you continuously make videos.
In Verdi's case, a partnership of this kind was secured with a leading influencer in his company's niche.
Here's the codes in Code Snippets.
We perceive him as an investor, because he is investing a lot of his time and he's getting a part of the business. And thanks to his videos, especially early on, it really helped us grow.
This approach is exactly what Nike did with Michael Jordan. Except instead of shooting three-pointers, Verdi's influencers were dropping video tutorials. It's also exactly what Feastables did with Mr. Beast, where the influencer doesn't just promote the product, they own a chunk of it. Because let's be real, if Michael Jordan was just a paid spokesperson, he wouldn't still be making billions off of Air Jordans today. But before you start handing out equity like Oprah Winfrey giving away cars, you get a share, and you get a share, and you get a share, and you get a share. Remember, giving away part of your business is a long-term commitment. It's not just about finding a big influencer, it's about finding the right influencer. Software founder and business mentor Justin Ferriman warns his mentees about going after big influencers too early in the life of their business.
Some people are maybe smaller, they see some influencers on YouTube and they feel like if only they were mentioned by them, their life would change. First, I can tell you your life won't change.
Justin offers an alternative approach to growing with the help of influencers.
I would approach people with smaller audiences, let's say 2,000 subscribers. And just to reach out and say, hey, can you talk about my product is not going to work. You need to offer them money to create the video. And then doing this, it's a shotgun approach. You have to do it to as many channels as you can.
This strategy isn't as flashy as partnering with a celebrity, but it's way less risky. Working with a large number of smaller content creators means you're not dependent on one person to drive all of your sales. You avoid getting locked into bad deals with influencers who might not deliver. You increase your chances of getting noticed by bigger influencers later on. Think of it like building cred in the music industry. First you drop mixtapes, then a mid-tier artist features you, and before you know it, Drake is DMing you. This approach takes longer, but it works. And when it does, you won't just have an influencer promoting your product, you'll have an entire community backing your brand.
When you get those videos of some of these other people that have done it and you see the views, maybe it's getting some likes or whatever, you can take those and show examples to other people that you reach out to. Okay, look, we've done some videos with other people. Here's an example. I'm happy to give you a free copy. This is what's really coming. This is what's nice about it. Maybe you focus on these things. I can compensate you, and you just kind of rinse and repeat this.
Sometimes the best deals just fall into your lap. It's kind of like when someone offers you their Netflix password without you even asking. That's exactly what happened to Justin. One of the biggest figures in his niche reached out and said, hey, I'll promote your product, no upfront payment needed. Just give me an affiliate commission.
I didn't pay him for videos. He was just like, no, I'm going to do this. Like, I'll be an affiliate, and he was very driven by affiliate compensation. And, that was just his style.
So we've seen two valid approaches. One that starts from reaching out to the niche's top tier influencers with generous offers that lift your business off the ground and form long-term bonds, and the other in which you work your way up to the top starting from smaller content creators. But in reality, you don't really need to choose one or the other.
If you have a good product and it's really helping people, I would go for small influencers and big influencers.
This is Verdi, an influencer in the WordPress space who's built a massive audience of well over 1 million YouTube followers. That's more people than live in some countries. He says that although big influencers might charge more and be more selective, there's no reason not to try, because sometimes a good fit can be found with products of any size.
If it will generate views for me, if it will grow my audience, if it will maybe generate a little bit of money with advertising, then it becomes interesting. Of course, when I make a store, I also get channel growth, more views, more subscribers, which is also a currency for me. If I get more subscribers, that's one of the best things in the world. So it's not all about the money.
But once you reach out to a bigger influencer, what do you say, and how do you find out if there's actually a shared interest? Before you get all worked up about getting ghosted, just think about what this must feel like on the other side.
I get 5 till 10 emails per day about, can you promote this?
What's particularly interesting is to see what Verdi would consider a turnoff, and compare that with the kind of outreach he would be compelled by.
I get a lot of emails starting with, hey Verdi, I'm a long-time subscriber and I especially like your video, and then I see the title and I know it's automatically probably pasted in it. It's not personal at all. If I was the product owner, I would really watch some videos of mine also to see if I'm really good fit, and then make a personal email.
And this is the first key takeaway. When you hit the influencer's inbox, don't look like spam. Instead, look like a real professional person who did their homework and knows why they're writing to this person. First of all, make sure your email address or handle looks like a genuine person's would. Like your actual name rather than Tony5427. What is that? Your gamer tag? Also make your profile pic convey that you're an actual person. Then when it comes to your message, as a rule of thumb, if you're copying and pasting your message from influencer to influencer, you're probably doing something wrong.
There was also someone latest time like, hey Verdi, I saw your latest video and I liked what you said about this and this and this. So he or she took the time to really watch my video. That gives him or her some likability, like, okay, oh wow, he or she really did some research.
This advice isn't enough to go all the way, but it's a crucial starting point. Another important aspect of the email is to make it a clear proposal. This is a very important part of your outreach email, because if an influencer is setting time aside to do a discovery call with you, it's not going to be just because you emailed them. Part of the proposal is to include all the crucial information about what your product is, what it does, who it's for, so the influencer can see how relevant you are to their audience. And then what any influencer would appreciate is that you keep things concise.
Hey Verdi, let's keep it short. I really appreciate what you're doing on the internet. I think I have a tool that can benefit your audience. This tool can this and this and this and this. We could talk about a financial compensation. We could talk about affiliate commissions. I could even give you a higher commission.
Zero fluff. And this also applies to your title. A good title will go something like affiliate deal proposal from your name, or offering you to partner with your name, and add your company's brand name. Let the recipient see that there's a point to this email from their very first glance. And this is about everything you can do to increase your chances of getting a reply. Of course, the commission rates you offer and the partnerships will need to vary depending on the influencer you're reaching out to. For Verdi, as an example, a 25% commission as an affiliate is attractive, and 30% is considered outstanding. Combining that with a payment up front could make the deal a no-brainer. But there's one more aspect of your outreach that can't be bridged over by just paying more money, and that is the quality of your product.
So for me, I always want to have integrity in what I do, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I get really nice offers from people. Like one of my best offers recently was $40,000 to create a series of videos. But if the product is not good, I have to say no, because in the long run, I want every video I create to be really helpful for the viewer.
This leads me to my second major point. Don't test your tool on influencers.
When I see a bug, okay, I will talk about that. But when I see in the beginning, there are a lot of bugs and I don't even do it. And I say, forget about it.
Yes. The bug apocalypse. You know it's bad when you start thinking you're not really building a product, but a digital haunted house instead. The main lesson here? Sure, we all love building minimum viable products and selling the idea before perfecting it. It's really all good stuff. Just don't show the big influencers your unstable beta version, because as tempting as it may be to get that boost at such an early stage, if it falls through, you'll be lucky if the only thing they do is ghost you. Verdi says he's unlikely to ever reply to an email from a company that initially sent him an unstable product. He'll simply label them as a waste of his time. And in the worst case, an influencer might give you a bad review. That's something that'll cost you years of work until you fix your bad reputation. So do yourself a favor and send influential people a version of your product you think they'd be impressed by. If your product's not ready, the only thing you should be beta testing is your patience. The third and final point has to do with the fact that influencers aren't influential just because of their looks. They work hard to create useful content, and there's a lot you can do as a maker to help make their work less of a hassle. This can even impact whether or not an influencer agrees to work with you, or how high they expect their commissions to be.
It would be best if there was documentation and if there was a YouTube video from the owner itself. But the best scenario is when they have the content already created for me and I can just watch the tutorial and then redo it.
This aspect of your communication with the content creator will rely heavily on your documentation or self-made product videos, and whether or not you've had other, perhaps smaller content creators promote your work before you reached out to a bigger one. Before I wrap things up, let's run through the key takeaways of this video to provide a kind of checklist of things to consider when approaching big influencers. Know who you're reaching out to and why. Don't just approach an influencer because they have an audience. Make sure you can explain the potential fit. Know what you're offering in return, analyze your situation, and assess the value of what you have to offer the other party, whether it's money, long-term business potential, or a unique value proposition to their audience. Keep communications personal and genuine. Avoid generic pitches without specifics. Watch the influencer's content. Reference relevant details, and tailor your outreach to their style and audience. Offer clear benefits, provide a concise overview of the product's value to their audience, highlight whether you're offering financial compensation, affiliate commissions, or a partnership, or any combination of the three. A competitive affiliate program is particularly appealing. Make the pitch concise, don't overwhelm influencers with long emails, instead focus on the essentials: what your product does, why it matters to their audience, and what the terms you're offering are. Have a stable product. Ensure your product is fully developed and functional before reaching out. Good influencers won't promote unfinished or buggy tools and may never consider you again. Provide documentation and resources. Make it easier for the influencer to create their content. Offer tutorials, documentations, or even pre-made video examples to streamline their workflow. Target both small and big influencers. Smaller influencers might be more willing to engage at first, and their promotion can build the momentum that catches the attention of larger influencers later. Thanks so much for joining me on this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below, feel free to subscribe, and tap the bell to get YouTube notifications when we release another video. See you in the next one.